BAKKT and Bitcoin. This is a really interesting topic, and the depth of this topic it's like going down the rabbit hole in the Matrix. Once you've taken that little red pill, there is no returning. So here's my question for today. Will BAKKT crush the credit card industry? So as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion. I am not smarter than you. You are smarter than you realize. Do not trust what I say. Do your own research. So today we are going to take a look at this. This is the New York Stock Exchange, and this is the Chief Executive Officer of the New York Stock Exchange, and this is his wife, the Chief Executive Officer of the BAKKT Exchange. And as a team and or a power couple, these folks have created an exchange called the BAKKT Exchange. Now, the founding imperative for BAKKT will be to make Bitcoin a sound and secure offering for key constituents that now mostly shun it, the world's big financial institutions. The goal is to clear the way for major money managers to offer Bitcoin mutual funds, pension funds, ETFs as highly regulated mainstream investments. The next step after that could be using Bitcoin to replace your credit card. So we're going to focus today. If you've watched any of my previous recent videos on the week of the BAKKT going live, you've actually seen me talk about this article before, but today we're going to drill into this last statement. And is Bitcoin going to replace your credit card using the BAKKT exchange as the backbone to replace credit card transactions? So let's take another look at this. If the BAKKT blueprint works as planned, Bitcoin funds would tap pent-up demand for the cryptocurrency, making it a safe and easy choice for everyday investors, notably millennials getting their first 401k. Wall Street could then tap Bitcoin's popularity as an alternative to stocks and bonds to generate giant trading volumes. And so really what we're getting at here is the first step of the BAKKT exchange is to make Bitcoin commonplace, to see that a large number of people are actually owning Bitcoin via the BAKKT exchange. And then after that, so BAKKT's founders tell Fortune that the institutional investor campaign is the first of two phases. So again, the institutional investor, the campaign to get it into your 401k and your IRA market accounts, getting Bitcoin into mutual funds and other investment vehicles just to get it used by more of the general public. But their phase 2 operation, and they're a little coy about the second phase, but the presence of Starbucks and Microsoft strongly suggests that BAKKT will strongly strive to revolutionize the way consumers pay at the mall and online. The coffee giant is already a leading player in encouraging customers to pay with their smartphones rather than their credit cards, and Microsoft, through its Azure cloud business, serves huge bases of retailers handling back office tasks from invoice processing to e-commerce. And so we can kind of see how Microsoft with Starbucks and the BAKKT exchange have positioned themselves in a very unique place. You know, global regulators got their hair on fire when Libra and Facebook came out and said that they're going to introduce their own cryptocurrency. So while Libra and Facebook were kind of like, let's make a batch of boiling water, and then they threw the frog or regulators into the boiling waters and they leaped out with their hair on fire, BAKKT is taking a much slower approach and starting out by working on getting their product in the hands of institutional investors in the hands of your 401k, IRA markets, etc. And based on the approach that BAKKT is taking with all of this, they've already got approval from the CFTC, which is a United States regulator for futures contracts, and they've already gotten approvals from the state of New York regulators for custodying Bitcoin. They're taking an approach where they're getting regulators on board with a small thing, and then they'll just stack one thing on top of another thing on top of another thing to eventually they may become one of the world's largest credit card processing companies. Now, one of the biggest drawbacks that's prevented Bitcoin from being used as a means for payments, say, to buy coffee or to buy an airline ticket or to buy anything else that you would normally buy and pay for, is the fact that the blockchain that Bitcoin runs on is only capable of handling 5 transactions per second. 5 transactions per second is not enough to be a credit card processor. They must be able to handle a lot more than that. In fact, Visa can handle 25,000 transactions per second, and on a really, really busy day, they can push their processors, they can push their servers to handle a maximum of 50,000 transactions per second. And so for any cryptocurrency product to be able to be used in a large scale format similar to Visa and MasterCard, for payment purchasing prospects, they got to handle more than 50,000 transactions a second. And yet, BAKKT is positioning themselves to do just that. Take a look at how they've built the exchange. So the BAKKT brass stressed their immediate goal is making Bitcoin a popular alternative investment along with gold and private equity. But an efficient, regulated market in the currency could eventually remake the way we pay for everything from coffee to airline tickets. Once hedge funds, family offices, and the Charles Schwabs and TD Ameritrades of this world embrace Bitcoin, the gigantic trading volumes in the BAKKT contracts should smooth the lurching price swings that scare both investors and would-be users, creating a stable, trusted currency. If and when that happens, it's not hard to imagine that BAKKT will create a Bitcoin app for retail purchases. BAKKT hasn't shared its plans for retail payments publicly, but acknowledges that its partnership with Starbucks suggests big plans in the future. It's also in talks with other consumer brands looking to use digital currencies for consumer payments. After all, the big fees that credit card companies and banks extract from merchants are ripe for disruption. And Sprecker's a past master at making an array of transactions faster and cheaper. What they're referring to here is Sprecher. This is the man that owns the company that not only owns the New York Stock Exchange, but 12 other exchanges worldwide, and they own 8 different clearing houses. A clearing house is what's used when you sell a futures contract, because with a futures contract, you've got party A, oftentimes a farmer with an agricultural product such as cotton or wheat or some other similar soft good, and party B who is wanting to purchase that wheat so that they could make bread, or cotton so that they could make jeans, blue jeans, or whatever kind of clothing fabric. A clearinghouse is a place where the two parties can buy and sell those goods. And so BAKKT is already one of the, or I'm sorry, not BAKKT, ICE, the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange, is one of the world's largest clearinghouses for futures contracts, so that farmers or other, like crude oil, can get together with companies that are wanting to buy those products. So they have a history of doing this sort of stuff. The ICE company does. Now, the safeguarding of stocks, bonds, and commodities such as gold from theft is known as custody. Ironclad protection is especially essential for cryptocurrencies. So what we're going to start talking about is the infrastructure that BAKKT has building that could be used in the future for payments. And a big part of that infrastructure has been a custody warehouse so that Bitcoin could be held and kept safe from getting into the wrong hands, from a thief trying to steal it, or even an accident where, somebody accidentally sent their cryptocurrency to either the wrong crypto address or even a non-existent crypto address. So after the BAKKT clearing, at the BAKKT clearinghouse called BAKKT Trust Company, ICE is deploying the same cybersecurity systems that protect the New York Stock Exchange. Unless a client wants to shift tokens from the BAKKT Trust for storage at a rival's site, the transfer of Bitcoin from one customer to another customer happens all inside its warehouse. Now, this is an interesting point, saying, we talked just a minute ago how Bitcoin can only handle 5 transactions per second because its blockchain, while its blockchain is incredibly effective at securing a physical address and everything else in terms of creating a cryptographic message and adding a ledger account, a ledger record into the blockchain and protecting all of that so that it can never be altered. What BAKKT is going to do is they're going to pour all of the Bitcoin that's traded on the BAKKT exchange into their own cold storage warehouse, and then everything goes back and forth just through ledger transactions. So let's get into this. It'll be, I'm sure it's clear as mud. Hopefully by the time we're done with this, it'll be perfectly clear to you. And if not, please leave questions below and I'd be happy to try and address them the best I can. If client A sells 100 tokens to fund B, the transaction happens on ICE Futures US. But BAKKT simply credits client B's account 100 coins via an entry on the centralized warehouse ledger and debits A's account and channels the cash to A through ICE Clear US. The Bitcoin moves around like a stack of lumber moving from one part of Home Depot to another, but never leaves the warehouse. Since all balances are settled on the internal warehouse ledger, the futures transactions avoid running on the blockchain where Bitcoin could be sent the wrong address. It's like transferring cash from your checking to your savings account, all at your own bank. With ICE's help, BAKKT also has installed fortress-like protection for Bitcoin that leaves the warehouse for, say, the owner's wallet. The vast majority of Bitcoin in the BAKKT warehouse is stored in what's known as cold storage. To leave the warehouse, the Bitcoin must move from cold to warm storage and then exit via electronic transfer over the internet. Warm storage is connected to the internet so that the coins can be sent from the BAKKT Trust to another exchange or the wallet, while cold storage parks Bitcoin in the deepest of deep vaults disconnected from the web. And so any cryptocurrency that's in a cold storage cannot be touched because it's not even connected to the internet. And as long as the cryptography that's protecting Bitcoin as a whole is unalterable, it's a complex subject, I'm not going to get into it, but Bitcoin is extremely secure, especially in this type of a situation where you're dealing with cold storage that is not even connected to the internet. So they really have a good process set in place. And given the fact that they're just, where did they say it? All right, so since all balances are settled on the internal warehouse ledger, the futures transactions avoid running on the blockchain. Now, this is a very important part because while Bitcoin can only handle 5 transactions per second, what they've done is they're handling all of the transactions on a centralized ledger, and this is a centralized ledger that has been running the New York Stock Exchange, and so there is a significant amount of protection and security on that, and this allows them to handle a larger volume of transactions, and so they'll be able to handle a significant number of transactions. I'm sure that between them, Microsoft, and Starbucks, behind the scenes, they're already working on, okay, well, how can we handle 50,000 transactions a second? How can we handle 100,000 transactions a second? How can we handle 1,000,000 transactions per second? With the intent that all they're doing is creating new records on an internal warehouse ledger for Bitcoin that they've got in cold storage. So I hope you're getting this point. The hair on fire reaction of regulators to Libra is because the BAKKT exchange has already gotten through all these layers of regulations. They have a really good shot at pulling off what they're attempting to do, and they may be able to basically create a global digital currency that's used for daily transactions by a humongous volume of people on the planet. I mean, they may be able to accomplish much, trying to think of the right word, it's just not coming to me. I know what I'm trying to say, I just don't have words formulated. Anyway, I think they have a high degree of likelihood for being able to accomplish what they're setting out to do. Currently today, the only cryptocurrency that BAKKT is going to be dealing with is Bitcoin. But if BAKKT starts introducing either other cryptocurrencies or even the possibility of a new cryptocurrency, whether it's their own or something that's developed by a company that they're associated with, I'm going to be paying attention to that, and I'm going to be watching for that closely, because that actually could have some significant potential, something significant to be looking for and possibly to be getting involved with. So, as always, how can I be of service to you? If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, please leave them down below. Please use the form to communicate with me directly. And in the meantime, like, subscribe, and hodl. I hope you have a fantastic day.